Oh yeah, you're in the random chair.
The frontmost row.
Yes.
That's the splash zone.
How's it going?
Great! Woo!
It's Sunday.
Sunday.
Event you went through Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parties.
Yeah.
Right? It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a bunch of fun. And so what's been your favorite thing so far?
You!
You.
Yes, you would probably be the best.
Oh, thanks.
Why do you think we're here? And
I don't know.
What did you guys the first one to walk in? I thought this
What was your favorite part?
Yeah.
what was your favorite?
You know, I love doing the panel discussions. I love doing the autograph sessions. I love walking around and seeing everybody dressed up. Cosplay is like the coolest thing in the world. And I love cons because it's sort of like it's permission to be yourself. To come here and do whatever you want. People, you know, doing everything that they want to do. I think that's so very cool. You know,
You
it's
can
like
be as freaky as you want. No one would raise an eyebrow.
right? Yeah, exactly.
It's like Halloween for 3 days.
It's so, I really admire that they create a safe and secure place for people to come and play and just be themselves, you know?
Like you can walk around with underwear on your head and nothing else, and no one would raise questions.
And you're right, and nobody would, and I think I saw somebody doing that. I just saw this guy out there, he's Sonic cosplay, dressed up as Mario.
Yeah.
He's got the
I thought he was coming in here.
too.
He's like a con celebrity. We see him every year.
He is so fun. That is
events.
just, I
He's
love
awesome.
that.
He did a Jedi version of that one time. Star Wars.
He did a Link version.
Yeah, Waldo too.
He did
He's
a
done a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
question.
Sure.
What's your opinion on Sonic games?
What's that? Are there Sonic? No, yeah, I love Sonic. I love Sonic games. You know, they're so fun. I love the Olympics games with Mario. We did some commercials when we first did that I thought were really funny where, you know, Sonic runs up and with the horn in the ear and that sort of thing. You know, that was really fun. Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember back in the day when Sonic was like, you know, Mario was here, then Sonic came soaring up and we're all like, hey, you know. It's great.
Yeah, he's in Smash Brothers.
It's been like 24, 25 years. Yeah, right now he's in Smash Brothers. Now there's sort of, you know, great rivalry and ally friends, you know.
Weird.
Comes to save him at the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I know you aren't really the person to ask for this, but do you think Nintendo is going to buy Sega?
Do I think Nintendo is going to buy Sega? I have absolutely no idea. The greatest thing about being a voice talent is you're a voice talent. You know? My favorite thing is, and it's an interesting thing being an actor because, you know, all actors that I know are super political, are super into, you know, it's like, because you have like a lot of time, so you read and you develop these opinions and you're just like, but at the same time, it's like, at the same time that I'm acutely aware that I'm like, oh, I really have strong feelings about this, and this issue, and this issue. Don't ever vote for an actor. You know, because it's like we're all very eccentric. I think part of us, most of us become actors because we don't know who we really are. So we try to find an identity, you know? You know, it's like my brother's a chiropractor because he had bones that hurt, you know? That doesn't say a lot of great things about psychiatrists. I'm joking. But you know, it's like we're a funny group, actors. But it's like really, we're nice people too in general. But don't vote for us, right? Sure, Mario.
Have you ever like visited the Sega headquarters? Like when
Have I visited the Sega headquarters? That's a good question. No, I never have. You know, I visited Nintendo headquarters in Japan, which is really cool, and in Redmond, Washington, and I record a lot in Seattle at this great
when
studio.
you're doing recordings, it's always separate. Like you never met Roger Craig, the voice of Sonic?
I have never. I've exchanged a couple of emails with him. You know, he was like the original Sonic, right? Roger Craig was the original, or was it? No, he's the current one. No, I haven't done any emails with the original.
Julia White? I think Julia White was the original in the cartoon.
in the cartoon.
Cartoon, yeah.
But who was the original one in the game for like the first like 10
Ryan
years?
Drummond.
Yeah, Brian.
Ryan Drummond, that guy. Yes, I have exchanged some emails with him. Seems like a really great guy. I'm surprised he's not at cons like this, because you know he really created. That's an iconic character too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like why not? Hi. Luigi jacket.
Since you voice act Mario, have you ever wanted to cosplay as Mario and go to like these cons? That would be the best thing ever.
That is so funny. I've never thought about that. Cosplaying as Mario. I don't even have overalls.
Half of it's like red and half of it's green.
He's like turn around.
Oh my gosh.
No, it'd be like 4 sides. You have Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, and Mario.
One big side. We know which side that would have to be, right? And then a dragon head. That's right, a dragon head. Yeah.
Parthenacme, the
That's
wings of
fun.
Parthenacme.
Yeah, or the tail, long Parthenacme tail. That's cool. Yeah.
I have a question about recording. Do they just like a couple months and just say like you're coming into Seattle and you're just
Yeah,
recording?
you know, it's how does the recording process work? It's really funny because it's different now because obviously it's all email now instead of telephone calls. But you know, I get an email. You know, we're looking at this sort of window for recording because they know that I'm sort of like in and out a lot. So we're looking at this window and I say, oh, I can do that right there. And they go, okay, hold these days, you know. And then I fly up to Seattle. I get we go in and it's like the most fun thing is we like eat sushi and that's sort of like the happiest thing of my life.
It's amazing.
It's so great. And there's just good, I mean Seattle, great seafood, right? So we go and finally everyone loves Waluigi.
Hey, well, Luigi still doesn't get paid attention to.
That's right. Waluigi does not get enough respect.
Yes.
Waluigi deserves the respect.
That's right. That's right. Fortunately, he doesn't deserve it.
Nobody
Yeah.
pays attention.
So I record games sometimes as long as a year or more before the game comes out, and as soon as 2 weeks before the game comes out. It's ranged so greatly, and you know we have a great recording session of like 4 hours of like Mario one day, Luigi the second day, Waluigi, and then we always end with Wario because Wario's the one that, you know, you put everything into. I'm a believer. You have to put everything you've got into anything that you're doing, particularly voiceover acting or any type of acting. But you know, so by the end of Wario, I'm kind of like, well, okay, thanks a lot, you know. And so it's definitely there's another character called Worn Out Charles Voice, who doesn't belong in the video game, you know. But it's really fun. And then I sometimes I walk down to after we finish recording, if I can, I walk down to the market there. Oh gosh, okay, brain dead. The market, the big market in Seattle, and these guys are so nice because they have like oysters, and I get oysters and oyster knife, and I go shuck and eat oysters, overlooking this beautiful, gorgeous bay, you know. And I recorded some games in Japan too, which was super. You know, what could be more fun than being in Japan, being in Koji Kondo's studio where all this brilliant music has been made over the decades, you know. And it's this gorgeous studio, all natural wood, and you can fit a whole symphony in there, you know. And you talk about nice to me. You know, when I went there to do the 5 games, I get this email. Well, you know, Mr. Kondo and his staff would like to know what you would like, you know, in the studio. And I'm like, well, just kind of like warm water and maybe hot tea and, you know, some lemon and honey maybe would be nice. And then I get this email about, would Japanese water be okay, or would you prefer California water? You know, and then it's like, you know, I'm like, really? And I get there, you know, it was so cute, and there are these like little bottles of water lined up, like 6 little bottles of water, a little teapot, you know, perfectly arranged, you know, tea and honey, and you know, and I drink prodigiously during sessions. Every take, I drink water because I keep the throat lubricated. If you're a voice talent, you really need to concentrate on hydration so you don't damage your vocal folds. So I, you know, drinking water, and I would drink water and make a hot tea, you know, having fun. It's alchemy of like whatever it is in my idiosyncrasies, you know. and it would take a little break, and I'd come back, you know, because I'd make a little mess, and everything would be back to the perfect order. Little bottles, little honey, little lemons, you know, and the lemons were all perfectly arranged. I'm like, you're kidding, really? You know, really? It's like, I move the lemon just a little bit, leave the room, come back, lemon. Hey, you know? It's like, they were just so nice and so accommodating. And you take off your shoes outside the studio, you put on slippers, and then you go, you know, to your little slipper place. You know? And it was so cute because I would look, and we were recording in one of the buildings of Nintendo, and I would look out the window and I'd see all these people looking and going, because I am like I'm like, yahoo! I can't go, woo! You know, both full on. It's got to be big, and you know, my whole body moves and flies around the room, you know. And so you learn as an actor to be conscious of where the microphone is in relationship to yourself. So when you're screaming, you back up a little bit. When you get intimate, you get, you know, a little closer. You just learn those techniques. But then once you're playing, it's just all natural. That was kind of a long answer to your question. And that, yeah.
I was actually going to ask if you ever found yourself voicing Mario without realizing it out in public.
All the time, because my inner dialogue is like, woo, you know. And so I do, you know, and I don't tend to like say to somebody, hello there, how you doing? You know, I don't do that because you know. But I'll be having this little dialogue, oh, mamma mia. Like, well, you're doing it again. Yeah. It's just me, or I thought it was you. It is me. I think that was you. I think it is you. You know, it's the strangest thing. But yeah, the characters are always with me. I love them so much. You know?
If you were going to like a drive-thru or something like that, you're speaking in the Mario voice just to mess with the person.
No, I never did that. I have this sacred relationship
You do that.
with
You say the Mario voice into the microphone when you pull up to get your food. You say in Parthenac's voice.
Really, I did have this one film crew from England, and they asked me to do that, and I did that at a Jack in the Box or something like that, and I felt so badly because I felt like, you know, there's this poor person working for like 11 cents an hour, and there's somebody messing with me. Like, hello there, how you doing? It's like, oh, come on. Come on, I get 11 cents an hour here. But, you know, so I don't walk up to people going, how you doing, you know? But I do love walking through the airports, and I see, you know, children playing on their DS, and I'm like, that makes me so happy, you know?
Hi, I wanted to travel to Japan sometime in the near future.
Oh, good idea.
And one of the things that I'm particularly worried about is the difference in food. Could you go about the differences between like food in Japan and compared to America and what?
You know, you can get American food in Japan, like that. You know, they've got American food restaurants, there's McDonald's and Burger King and things, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and yeah, it's very
a black
popular.
Burger King.
A piece of global capitalism. We are everywhere. But you know, also, you know, you can find things that are similar to Western food, but slightly different too. You know, that like Kobe beef. I remember one restaurant. I remember the food vividly. It was so incredible. One restaurant was like a tempura restaurant, and you have the chef has this enormous pot of oil with this sort of like the way you have sugar dishes here, the cover like this, and he's you know, and you order your things. He's take your shiitake, and he's cooking everything just a couple pieces at a time, and he puts it in there, you know, and it smells incredible. And when it's cooked, he puts it like on you have your little wooden plate with a little piece of paper on it, you know. And after about 12 pieces, there's still like one micro drop of oil. You know, like if I try to fry something, I take it out and it's like the whole room becomes this oil slick. But the mastery of chef and cooking there is just incredible. I happen to love food, so I mean there are lots of differences. But to me, I love those differences. I love that they have very different sushi. There's very traditional style Japanese foods too, which a lot of marinated and a lot of things with sake, things that we don't have the sake base here. But you know, you marinate things in the remnant of the sake, like the incredible things.
And one more thing, I tend to be like, I enjoy food for its flavor. It's just more for the texture for me. Like, Are there any like really weird textures in foods in Japan?
Yeah. Yeah, but I love those too. I mean, I love the weird textures of food everywhere in the world. I just came back from China, and one of the favorite things I love jellyfish. Why do I love jellyfish? It's this really weird texture that you only get when you eat jellyfish, you know? But if you're adventurous and you enjoy it, bada boom, you'll love it. Yeah.
You probably get asked this a lot, but what's your relationship with Shigeru Miyamoto?
What is my relationship with Mr. Miyamoto? Well, Papa! And he is such a wonderful, sweet man. He's so kind and so considerate, so thoughtful, and a humble, just very normal gentleman. And it's so amazing because, a lot of people that are very wealthy, or not wealthy, I wouldn't say that, I don't know whether what his wealth is, but who like do something like create Apple or create IBM or create Facebook. I don't know these people. I'm not saying those people, but when you do something that is so monumental, that has so much impact on the world. I mean, he's created fun for billions of people for 35 years or something. Just fun for everybody, and revitalized and recreated this video game industry. And he's done so much for so many people. And he's such a normal guy, and nothing goes to his head. It's just he's all connected so beautifully with his inner self, and I just respect him and appreciate him so much, And honestly, I don't know anything about Facebook or those. I'm not saying anybody from anywhere, but people that do big things or have a lot of money or do giant things. Sometimes it goes to people's heads, and it's like it's none of that, which is I so admire that.
You're right about Facebook.
I don't know anything about anybody, and it's not an aspersion to anybody. Yeah.
I've followed your Instagram a lot, and I've seen that you've traveled to a lot of exotic places. Which is your favorite, and where would you like to go?
Oh my goodness, I'm doing these little Instagram videos just for pure fun of it, and Vine videos. I do love travel. I just got back from China, and I'm still having jet lag because it's such an odd difference in time. And if you fly to Europe a lot, you just get used to, as soon as you eat, you sleep, and you just sleep as long as you can. You wake up and you're okay. But going east is always harder than going west. And you actually go west to get to China, and you come east to get back, So it's an interesting challenge for a time. I love travel. I'm looking forward to going to Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar. I hope to get to Myanmar before the first Kentucky Fried Chicken goes in. I do really appreciate that. When I was a kid, I used to go to Mexico every year because we didn't have any money. And so we'd go to Mexico because you can do so much there. But it was such a world-opening experience for me. Different food, different culture, different life, different beaches. You walk on the beach. But these are the days of natural Mexico. You walk on the beach and you see a bivalve hole. Put your hand in, you come out with a clam. You walk in the water, not on but in. Walk in the water, and they're like stingrays and crab in the water. In the morning in Mazatlan there were no hotels, but the water would recede, and as the water's going down, you can see little lobsters in the sand, and you just go, oh, I got that breakfast, it was such a different world. And you go to stores, and every store you go into, it's like, oh, well, we make honey cakes, and we make, these breads made out of this stuff, and we make tortillas, and we make, all these little stores. And then I was just in Monterrey, Mexico, and I love Mexico, but I was so surprised, I mean, McDonald's, Carl's Jr., Sam's Club, Walmart, Costco, it's like all that stuff there. And it's like, well, where are the local people? Where's all that local stuff? In those days too, nobody spoke English, and everybody speaks English now. And when I moved to Spain as a young man, nobody spoke English, so I had to learn Spanish to get, like, I want that, And I have to, like a baby, you have to do that. Now the whole world speaks English, so it's very, 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 very different. So I love cultures and going to places where nobody speaks my language. And that was so funny in China, because for 3 weeks, I mean, I could not understand a single word. And people don't speak English there in general, except in Beijing and Shanghai. But even then, you know, you cannot communicate with your taxi driver. You know, you hand them a piece of paper and say, "Don't hurt me." You know, it's easy to read the money because they use the same numbers. But you know, you go on a train, or you try to get a train schedule, buy a plane ticket, you go to a web page, it's like you don't understand a single word. You don't understand a single word, and you can't read a single word. You know, it's amazing. And I was like, for several days, many days, the only Caucasian person that I saw too, which is like, wow, really? You know, it's like such an unexplored world. So for me, that's awesome. I you know, surrender to the differences in our world. I'm so lucky. Yes.
When you're traveling around and such like that, did you ever actually like take the time out maybe to play through some of the games that which you voiced at, like with Smash Brothers or?
I do that when I'm home. Yeah, I do that when I'm home because when I'm away, I'm sort of like, you know, like, oh look, it's a shrimp, you know. You know, I run after it. I ate these little eels that they have in the rice fields, living in the mud and tree bark and. What else was in that? And a big clams, you know, because I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I video games I play when I'm at home. When I go to shows, I love to go to shows with Nintendo, you know, because like E3, it's like, oh, I get to play a game that, you know, oh, wow, wow. And I remember every time I walk into E3, it's such an adventure because they are so creative with the booth, you know. A couple of years ago, they had warp pipes, you know, and you get things from all the different games you get photos with. And it's like, oh, that is so cool. And that was the, you know, it was like, I so love that experience. And then there you see the game. I mean, the first time I saw Smash Brothers, that was like, oh my goodness, you know, and seeing Reggie and Mr. Iwata playing each other in that video, so hilarious. And when I saw Galaxy, I remember having goosebumps, and when I saw Super Mario Bros. Wii, you know, it's like, oh my goodness, I just laughed and had so much fun. So yeah, each time it's an adventure. Yes.
Have you ever talked to a child in your Mario voice?
Of course, yes, I do a lot. Yeah. I do a lot, but you know, I never ambush. I always make sure they know what what's going on with it. And I do real-time animation performance with Mario. That's how I got the job 25 years ago, crashing an audition. You know, the only one I should have learned. I should be crashing every audition I can. You know? But yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, with recording, like hearing you in Skyrim and Bit Trip Runner 2, like how do you do non-Nintendo stuff? Do you have an agent or just people?
I do. I have an agent in Los Angeles, Sandy Schnarr, who's a great agent in AVO Talent. And then in San Francisco, I have JE Talent, you know, another wonderful agent. Yeah. Orange. Nice hand.
Do you have any favorite anime?
Do I have any favorite anime? You know something, I am ashamed to say I know nothing about anime, except that I was in a couple of them. And, you know, the funniest thing was, I did this one audition for an anime, and I did all these things, and the casting director said, the director who's flying here from Japan likes you for everything. He's your favorite by far for everything. He wants you as the hero, he wants you as the young man, he wants you as the villain, he wants you as this, he wants you as that, you know. And so I went to the session, I went to the casting to meet him, thinking, well, hell, I'm not going to be doing everything in this, you know. And he looked at me and he went, and he started talking to the person beside him in Japanese, and then looking at me, and then talking Japanese, and looking at me, and you know, and then I go in there and I read my part of this, and I read my part of that, you know, I do all these character voices, and the casting director says to me, you know, here's the thing.
Oh no.
You don't look like any of the characters. And that's very disconcerting for him because he wants his actors to look like the characters.
What?
And I'm like,
Why?
okay, so did I get anything? Yes. You got this part. I go, this one part, it's not very much. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to be doing like 3 or 4 characters. Sorry. And I go in, and it's a short, fat guy. With bald head, you know, glasses, that like Coke bottle glasses. I'm sorry, wow, what's going on around here? You know, and I'm like, yeah. So I don't know, maybe when I walked in the room I looked short, fat, bald with the blood. So I don't have any, but I should watch anime because it's so cool, and I love walking around these shows and seeing people dressed up in anime characters. It's so fun. Speaking of anime characters, Mr. The Orange Hair.
The orange hair? You wouldn't recognize your arch nemesis, Mario?
Go your Bowser!
Yes!
Oh.
King of the Koopas, and I have come to crash your little pedal thingy. To answer my certain question. All right. Well, this one question will be, if there was going to be a spin-off of any Mario character, who would you like to play as in a spin-off? Aside from Princess Peach, but then again, Princess Peach should get another game.
I'm so happy. I live a dream. I do. It's a gift for me every day. I was doing Mario. I walked in the door. All of a sudden, there was Wario in real time. You know, and it's like you know. And then I walk into a session and there's you know. Each time there's one gift after another. I don't have any sort of like casting envy or, you know, oh, I want to do something else. I'm thrilled with my life. I absolutely love it. I get to record games. I get to travel around the world. I get to meet wonderful people at conventions like this and do PR and other things. So it's my whole life is great. Yeah.
Since you've been at ShadoCon, has it ever been tempting to go down to the game room and play like some of these games like Mario Kart? Your games. Your games or like any games in the game?
You know, I do love the games, but I'm not very good. You know, and it's
having fun.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, when I'm at the cons, I just like doing my thing. You know, it's like doing these and then walking around and seeing people and taking pictures and you know, and then I talk with the people that sort of like the cat wranglers. Because actors are like kitty cats that they have to be wrangled. You know, I just do that. You know, yes, sir.
How many from Mario's first inception? How many auditions were there, and then they picked you? How many people?
You know, that's how many auditions were there, and they picked me. I have absolutely no idea. I think he looked in Chicago and Seattle and Los Angeles and San Francisco, but I really don't know. I don't know where they were looking. But all I know is that when I walked in the door, and you know, he says, you know, you're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, so make up a voice. You're in a video game, so make up a video game. Start talking, and whenever you run out of things to say, that's your audition. And I was the thing. What I did was I was the only actor who never shut up, which is obvious. I can do that. You know? But it's like every other actor is like, you know, hey, I'm an Italian plumber from Brooklyn. How you doing? We're gonna play a little bit. Is it something like this that you're looking for? And as soon as they asked that, you know, can I have permission to continue? The director said, yeah, that was fine. Thank you very much. Next. You know, because he said, start talking. You're going to be on these things, this equipment on your face, and you're going to be talking to people all day long. We don't know if the system's going to work or it's not going to work, but you got to carry the ball all day long. So start and don't stop. And people who were like, da-da-da-da-da, they quit. You know, and I'm a brat. So when someone says to me, you know, go ahead and start and don't stop until you run out of things to say, I'm like, okay, all right, you know, I'm going to just keep talking until I run out of things to say, which does not happen.
Excellent.
25 years later, it still is not happening. Mario!
Do you feel like you have a responsibility as a, you know, because since Mario is such an icon, do you feel like you have a responsibility towards like?
Yes.
I guess like. What's the word I'm looking for?
To humanity, to young people, to like.
Responsibility of like you're an icon. You have to.
Like
preserve the
going,
legacy.
Yeah, like you keep Mario.
Oh, you mean keep going? Oh, well, I do. I have a responsibility. I think everybody that's a celebrity in any capacity, but everybody who has impact with anybody has a huge amount of responsibility, you know, for your impact and for, you know, but I grew up a lot in Europe, and it's like there's like a common bond there, you know? Like if you're with this show, you would never go to a restaurant and say something obscene because you're representing doing this show. You know what I mean? So for me, because wait a minute, that's someone at the show saying something obscene. That reflects badly on the show. You're raised with that sort of consciousness, and maybe it's just my mom and dad. But yeah, I believe that everybody has a responsibility, because I think the first thing that you learn as an adult is that your actions, your words, your thoughts have impact on other people, and that you want to have a healthy impact on people, so you take responsibility, which is part of the wonderful aspect of our humanity, is our ability to be responsible for what we do and say and think. So do I have a responsibility to keep doing the character? They could find somebody that can do the character. I have a love and joy of doing Mario's voice and all the characters' voices that I cherish every day of my life doing that.
Would you ever be sad if they one day decide, oh, we're going to go with someone else?
Would I be sad? I'd be sobbing like a baby.
No.
Yeah. I love it.
Mario cried.
Yeah. Everything that I've ever done with Nintendo, they show me that they're very loyal, caring, loving. We're a very family-oriented company. The shared passion in Nintendo is to make great video games, to make people enjoy themselves. And that's something that I have a huge passion for too. But so every celebrity has a responsibility. I think it's kind of awful when I hear a celebrity, when you work with somebody who has a big ego and a big mind, it's like, something, we're the luckiest people in the world because we're doing what we love to do. We're so, we're not doing brain surgery, we're, going, woohoo, unless you're Dr. Mario, then I suppose you could. And you'd get it right, too. I wish I could do that, But, so yes, everybody has a responsibility. A father has a responsibility to his children, and to raise, everybody has responsibility. And I think that the great part about society that sometimes we forget is that we are a society, and that civilization exists for the bettering of all of mankind, for the protection of the weak, and for, the feeding of the hungry, the support and the pulling up of everybody. And the greatness of America, to me, is born in our Declaration of Independence, that promises equality in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as the basic freedoms that are the responsibility of all government. That's the bottom line, and those civil rights of mankind and humankind are the primary responsibility of government, among other things. So to me, gosh, I believe in education for everyone. I believe in health care for everybody. But that's me. And that's the great thing, is I get to say that in the United States. Because other countries, you can't say it.
No one else can be Mario.
No. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
You probably get this all the time, but what is your favorite Mario game?
What's my favorite Mario game of all time?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's that's so hard to say. The Mario Kart, I've always loved every Mario Kart that ever comes out. Woo! I love that to me, when I saw those dancing turtles, it's like, okay, my heart melted. I laughed. I went, this is my favorite game of all time. But I said the same thing when I saw Super Mario Galaxy. Right? And then I say the same thing when I saw Galaxy 2. I can't say that when I say Smash Bros. Because I'm not very good at it. Because I honestly don't know what's happening. I'm like, and I don't, I lose track of what character I am because I'm so busy falling off the edges and into the abyss every 3 seconds, But it is so fun. It's really fun to watch. I was doing this thing, that Britain's Greatest Gamer, and they were doing a Super Mario Bros. Week as a competition, and like the finalists are all in this room. The 4 finalists are in this one room, and the show host, he competed with me beforehand so I could get a sense of how we're going to play the game, and I beat him, and I'm like, whoa. So cool, I'm gonna win. For the first time ever, I'm gonna win. And we get on stage in front of all these people, and he kicks my feet out from under me. And I'm like, you didn't show me you could do that, So then we watched the competition of Britain's Greatest Gamers, and within 30 seconds, I had no idea who was who, or who was ahead and who was behind, or what was happening, because it was just everything was like, I'm like, what's happening, what's happening, who's ahead, who's ahead, who's ahead, and I'm supposed to be like, trying to, amazing. So no, I'm not very good, but I love the games.
What was your favorite Mario game to record?
My favorite Mario game to record? That's such a great question, because everyone has some memories to me that are just absolutely cherished. Mario 64 was the coolest because, getting a phone call. Mr. Miyamoto would like you to record Mario's voice for a new game, because the voice is going to be in the game. And I'm like, woohoo! Like, what a dream come true. What an incredible dream come true. And going in there, and I had been playing the part for 5 years beforehand, and then to go in and use the words that I had been using, like, here we go, things like that, mamma mia, and use those things in the game. It was like, wow, really? And then we were inventing as we were going. I get, spaghetti. I had no idea whose idea that was. We were like, well, something's got to happen when you put the controller down and don't pick it up. Well, what should we do? That was like so cool and so. And then to see it, wow! I can remember the take and what we were doing and what we were saying and how we were thinking about it. But then recording Galaxy was so cool, because I see animations and I see things before, so it's like, and gosh, the WarioWare game where, what was that? It was like this animation.
DIY?
It was incredible too, but Super Mario Bros. Wii, that was a huge one for me. And Partners in Time, it's about okay, make up a language. Okay, just the confidence they have, the trust that we have, and nobody. I don't know who thinks of what or how it happens, because I work with people, because nobody has an ego. We're all just having a great time creating and having fun, And then we send the sound files to Japan, and then Japan sends feedback, more like this, more like that, more like that. We're like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's like kids in a candy store, in the sandbox, in the swimming in the swimming pool on summer vacation, all in one day, and the sand does not get in the candy. Okay. Luigi Code.
Could you say your favorite movie quote as Mario?
I don't have any favorite movie quotes, but I used to go, Luigi, I'm enjoying the dark side. No, Luigi, I'm your papa. You're not my papa. Oh yes, I'm your papa. You're not my papa. Yes, I'm your papa. No, you're not my papa. Stop saying that, I'm not your papa, or I cut off your hand, you little brat. No, you're not my papa. All right, here's my lightsaber, chomp. Oh, why you cut off my hand, the papa? I just started, in those days there was a floating head, so I'd be like, I would come out and say, this is my impression of Clint Eastwood. Him. Go ahead, the punky, make him a day. Oh, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Him. I'm gonna be back. I worked hard on that one, Oh, this actor, you recognize this guy, right? I'm a feel the need for a speed. Tommy Cruise, I think I look a little bit like him, And I don't know why my little imagination was like, for me, comedy should never be hurtful, and it's so easy to make people laugh attacking somebody or something, but it's much more fun to make comedy that makes us laugh at ourselves as people. To me, the universality of humanity, see, again, don't ever vote for an actor. We all have self-pity, we all have anger, we all have, complete joy, and we all have trepidation. And those characteristics I explode outward so that, you can look at self-pity and go, oh, that's self-pity. And I recognize it in myself, and I'm like, when I feel like so sorry for myself for something, it's like, oh, that's me doing my Waluigi moment, you can bounce out of that too, because you got to forgive yourself and move on in life whenever something pulls you back.
Did you always want to be an actor,
or was it something later?
Did I always want to be an actor, or was that something later on? That's a great question. Thank you. I was going to be a psychologist, and then I thought, no, I'm going to follow my friend into UC Berkeley because he's going to be a lawyer, and I'll be a lawyer, and then I'll be an international diplomat and live in Paris, London, or New York. And then when I couldn't get the classes I wanted to write my thesis on political theory with an with this great professor at UC Berkeley, I quit. I walked out the door of Souther Gates. I'm not for a political protest. I just walked out because I'm like, if I can't have what I want to do, because he wrote this. You study Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, Voltaire through the year, and at the end he said the question, one part A and B. Part A, what is the nature of man according to Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, blah, 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 blah. And two, what's your opinion? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Somebody asked me to think, And so I spent it's a 3-hour exam. So you spend 15 minutes writing, Hobbes thinks, psychology, born naturally, Buddhist, Locke, the nature of man is all, and you just go, blah, 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 fast as I could. And then I spent 2.5 hours, writing what I thought, and I thought, this is what I want to do, is write what I think. Except I have no discipline whatsoever. I have no ability whatsoever to write because I'm like, yes, today was a fascinating day. Oh, look, a butterfly. Today, my 3rd day in a row of writing oh, look, a cat. I have no focus and no discipline. So I quit school, and I'm sitting there going, I quit. And a friend of mine who was an acting teacher said, come and take an acting class from me, And I said, there is absolutely no way I could ever stand in front of people. There's no way I could ever talk in front of people. I would be scared to death. And he goes, yeah, come and take an acting class from me. I said, no, Les, you don't understand. There is no way. I couldn't even be behind the camera because I'd be nervous about being in public. There's a student cafeteria where they're becoming chefs, and you can have lunch with us every day. Okay, I'll come and take it. If you ever want me to do something, say, just put some food on a little string and so, shrimp, It is what it is. And so suddenly I became an actor because I failed to get the part of Oberon in Midsummer Night's Dream, and that made me upset enough to go, if you're going to make me feel that, I know I was the best. So then my head went straight forward, and that's what happened. Yeah.
What would you say to people that think that Mario or Nintendo altogether is just for kids?
What do I think about for people who say they're just for kids? Well, I know that's interesting, but it's not, because I have so many people. It's about fun, right? It's about joy and fun, and that fun happens to be wholesome and clean and joyful. An exploration deep into the creativity of the masters of the game creators. It's like, what's down this way? What's down that way? That if curiosity belongs only to children, then it's a children's game, I guess. I don't know, but the fact that people come up to me and say, I played when I was a child, and now I get the joy of playing with my children. And pretty soon there's going to be, I played, and now I'm playing with my grandchildren. I'll be going, woohoo! But it's not, and college kids love it. I go over to the United States military hospital bases and stores in Germany and meet people, and they're like, oh, I'm there, in Afghanistan, and I'm playing a Mario game, and it connects me to my home, to my life, to my family, and what an honor. What an honor for me. So it's not for kids, it's for everybody who loves kids. Yeah.
You said that you, as a child, went to Mexico, and you've been to I think Chile and Argentina and all these other places. So, ¿te habla español muy bueno?
Bueno, yo viví unos años en Barcelona, en España. Así que yo hablaba español, pero en esos días el catalán era ilegal, así que no hablo ni una palabra de catalán. Ma famille est française et j'ai vécu à Paris, en France. E io parlo un po' italiano perché sto sempre imparando italiano, per restare davvero italiano.
you do your Mario accent and like your voice?
But you know, I can't learn German because when you're in Germany, you say to somebody, "Sprechen Sie English?" Nein, ich spreche keine Englisch. Wo ist die Station, die Train, bitte? Oh, the train station. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. Here, 8 blocks. They speak English better than I do. It's incredible. Sorry.
Can you do your Mario voice in like other like different languages?
Sí. Hola, soy yo, Mario. Konnichiwa, Mario. Yahoo! Konnichiwa, Mario desu.
Speaking of acting and comedy, which particular celebrity or comedian do you draw most inspiration from?
I believe actors draw from absolutely everybody. We steal from everybody. You know, and you steal when you don't even know it, because being an actor has to do, I'm a Stanislavski sort of believer, that you follow observation and character traits, and the character comes from the inside. But we're stealing all the time. I see somebody, I see somebody who kind of stands like this and walks like this, and that's in my memory bank, and I'm going to steal that forever. Mel Blanc was the great originator of cartoon voices. The man was incredible, I said that poster that was made, with the moment of silence of all his characters, and you just look at the assembly, and those are just the big characters. If you could look at all the characters he did with Warner Brothers over the 35 years or so that he did it, it would knock everybody off their seats. It's just, what a genius, and a great guy too, apparently, which that makes me very happy.
Just wondering, as far as when you do the voices, is there any actual real script, or is it just pure ad lib? And how much do you just like make them just start laughing at just the random things you pull out if it's pure ad lib?
All of the above.
Nice.
But I'm not really one of those great improvisers. People go, "Oh, you're so funny, you improvise so much." No, we have a script. And I get to see animations often, and sometimes I don't, or sometimes, kind of like drawings or, little video animations. So I have a sense of what's going to happen. And this is, happy sounds. We're going to do this, and this. But this one should be longer, and this should be shorter. And, and I go through my, I'm going to do this, and 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 I do those. And then I go that, that. And then, he said, "Oh, that was really funny. Try this, or I go, okay. And I'm going to do this, so that I go, beep, 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 so it just keeps building upon itself. And so I sit, and if I come up with a thought, I write it down on my script, so that I don't do that first, but I remember to go back and do it, because I hate coming up with an idea and then forgetting it. And I'll tell you, one of the great, wonderful things about getting older is you forget things so fast. Your short-term memory goes, whoop, Oh, I've got this great idea for a... yeah, in the back.
Yeah. I'm just going to say you have 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was 5 minutes? That was not like, hi.
But at the same time...
5 minutes, is that all?
Sure.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When you're having fun.
See, this is the other thing about getting older. Time goes faster. It's just incredible, I say that to my mom, and she goes, "Wait, honey." Wait, it's like mom's revenge, Well, yeah, I agree.
You say you play a lot of Mario games. What would you say is your favorite power-up at Mario?
My favorite power-up, I love the Tanuki suit. I have no idea. Every time I see Tanuki, I'm like, I love that leaf, And the way he goes, it's just so cute. The way the propeller hat was so fun to me because he's got the propeller hat on and he keeps walking as he's flying. You're kidding! That's so cute. It's there's something about that motion that's just wow, that's so fun to me. But of course, I also. Well, the first that was scamper, 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 flip. I love that too. So that's a hard question. Yeah, I just find a bit. Yeah.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. How would you feel if you received a news thing from Nintendo that you were going to record a Super Mario Galaxy 3?
How would I feel if I got a call from Nintendo? We're going to record Super Mario Galaxy 3. I'd go, Yahoo! And I do that every time I hear hear anything. You know, every time I hear it's like, come on in, we're going to record something, I bounce off the walls like, you know, it's a good thing I have a hard head. Padded walls in my cell. Yeah,
What's your favorite like Mario sound effect?
My favorite Mario sound effect? Well, it's always woohoo! You know, because I got yahoo! You know, here we go! That stuff is like the unbridled enthusiasm and joy of Mario is something that I want more in me, you know? Yes, I promise there.
Do you yourself have actual Italian heritage?
Do I have Italian heritage? I'm French and American, or French and English. My mother's family came over on the Mayflower. I've got that little family tree. John Roberts, all back to some passenger. And my dad, my grandmother was orphaned, you know, during some time. And so I don't know all the roots going back there, but it's all French. And my dad was born in France and emigrated to America, so I'm first generation.
Does it ever get overwhelming? You always have go here, there, pictures, video.
Does it get overwhelming?
Yeah.
No, you know, I love it. I love it. Sometimes I'm a little late getting from A to B, but no, I love it. You know, to me, it's like, what an honor and a joy to do something that you love and be appreciated for it. You know, you come to a con like this, you go, oh, I love what you do, and it's like, oh, thanks, you know? It's so great. So many people work their whole lives and nobody says, good job, Bob. You know? Here's your watch after 50 years, you know? And my dad was not happy in his work, and that made me determined to be happy in mine. And
excellent. I hear you constantly noting throughout your panels and stuff that you like have the, like what you say is the equivalent, yeah, the attention span of a hamster. Like when you're talking about something and then you go, oh look, a cat.
Yeah.
And I have the same kind of thing. It's called ADOS, attention deficit. Oh, shiny.
Yes, we make good trout. Yeah, you know, it is just what it is, you know, and it's great because we're all human beings. Everybody has it. They didn't have words for things, but I know I had an anxiety disorder when I was an adolescent, you know, because everything was counting to 4. What did you do? My brain, that's what was going on inside my brain all day and all night, you know, and you sort of like, life gets better. You live through things. You learn that there are natural, homeopathic, and medical things that you can do that make you improve states, and, you know, and loving yourself and caring for yourself and being your own best friend are the things that you can do emotionally for yourself, too. So it does get better. It really does. Although I do have an attention span of a hamster. Yeah.
Would you enjoy recording just an exclusively Waluigi game?
Would I enjoy recording an exclusively Waluigi game? Of course, that would be hilarious. I'm sure that the great minds at Nintendo would come up with the most incredible... Look, it's right there. I've already recorded it. And you have to cheat to win, but then you'd probably have to steal it from the retail outlet. It would be a non-for-profit, you know, thing. Yeah.
One of the reasons Nintendo said Waluigi wasn't going to be a big playable character in Smash is he doesn't have much of a personality. What kind of personality would you give him?
Would I give Waluigi?
Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, he's got, you know, lots, you know, but, you know, I trust the masters, and that's what they are, you know, so I will just keep doing what I do and know that they do great things with what, you know, yes, they do. We all do together.
How was it recording the jibber jabber between Mario and Luigi in the Mario and Luigi games?
I love that, you know, I put in there, you know, I helped raise 3 children, and I remember them having phrases as babies, and so those are in there all over the place, you know, this is my personal little memory of that thing. There's a man standing up!
Oh.
Can I have 3 more questions? 3!
Yeah.
One.
I hear all the time. I hear your regular Nintendo characters inside of your voice. How exactly did you do the Parthenax in Skyrim?
Well, you know, when you, I hope that explained it well. You know, it's sort of like he's like a wise dragon that's good, that's not too evil, and you know the character description of him just made me, you know, go for that sort of like, you know, what brings you to the throat of the world?
Ooh.
So their head couldn't be like, what brings you to the world of the world? You know, it couldn't be that aggravated. It had to have a sense of being that was evolved beyond just lizardy, you know? So that's... And I just started talking.
I have a question. As far as like, if you really wanted to have a pet, would you have a Yoshi as a pet? Would you really want to have a Yoshi as a pet in real life?
Would I really want to have a Yoshi pet? I would love to have a Yoshi as a pet. Get to ride him around. He lays eggs, and then another Yoshi happens. And if you don't like broccoli, you like eat off your plate. You know, it's like, what could be better than that? It's like the dream come true pet. Yeah. Okay, last 2 questions, 1 case. Get 3, 2.5, and 3.
Okay.
2.5.
What do you think about working on Super Mario Sunshine, and would you want to work on Mario Sunshine too?
Would I want to do a Sunshine too? I love the flood pack. That was so fun, and cleaning up the island and being considered the villain and everything. I loved that game. And that was, that game too, that was when the memory card first came in. And that was a great thing because I introduced that game in Australia, and we're going around Australia, and I found levels that I would never achieve myself personally because everyone would come in and play, and then the journalists would come in and play, and I'd watch it, oh, we got past that, oh, we got past that, oh, we got past that. But I would love that. I love that game. I love every game, every time. It's so fantastic. Third question.
Okay, you remember the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, right?
Yeah.
Can you do the Mario?
I cannot do the Mario. Sorry, I don't know how to do that. Wait, I got one more question because I can't. I just don't know it, and that was Lou's thing. Lou's last question for real. All right, okay, here's my question. Thank you all very much. It's not a question, I just lied. Thank you so very much for coming. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here at ShadoCon. Do me a favor before you go. So you stand up and I'll do a little Mario video and say, hello everybody, and you go, and you just scream and say hello, okay?
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, okay, I don't know if I can use it.
The most epic video ever.
Get close.
Okay, ready? Oh yeah, look at all you wonderful people. He's got the big Poor Luigi.
It's Luigi's fault.
Luigi's head goes around like that too. That's really cool. Maybe he's possessed. Oh gosh, not saying low battery. No, don't say low battery. Wait, I push this button here. I push that button in there. Another great thing about getting older is you can't see anything. So you gotta have glasses on.
The glasses.
Oh look, there's a phone. It's like one of those. Okay, there's the phone. There's the dad. Okay, there's the video. Okay, ready?
Ready.
All right.
Ready.
Are we starting?
Hello, everybody at ShadoCon. Okay, one more really 6-second one. I'll just say, hello, it's me, Mario, and then you say whatever you want. Ready? Hello, it's me, Mario, and Luigi. Ho ho.